I'm Yolande Porier from Oracle Technology Network, and I'm here today at Devoxx UK talking to Richard Warburton.
Hi.
Richard, hi. So Richard, tell us what you do for a living.
I work at JClarity, who are a performance tooling and tuning company, and I also help out with London Java community and a bit with Devoxx UK on the program committee.
So you've been involved with the Adopt a JSR program. So what have you been doing?
Yeah, so Adopt a JSR is something that's kind of been kicked off initially by the London Java community and also at the same time by some of the Brazilians. And one of the things that I've been working on is running several Hackdays. So I ran a few Hackdays related to Lambdas, JSR 335, which were trying to get kind of early feedback and testing and use of the standard. And then we were trying to focus on giving that feedback back to the expert group so that hopefully they're able to make more informed decisions, kind of experience-based decisions, which they can use to make a better API and make better language changes. I've also helped out a bit on JSR 310, which is the date and time API, which was originally targeted to make Java 7, but unfortunately didn't quite make the cut, but has had this kind of whole process of being reinvigorated over the last year. And Stephen Colborne, who's also based in London, who leads that project, has been doing a great job on getting it ready for Java 8. So hopefully that'll be really good for developers. And that's another thing as well, where we've kind of run a hack day and got a lot more feedback from developers and tried to focus on that kind of aspect of the API.
So how do you organize one of those events? I mean, what is involved to...
So obviously we kind of, you need a location, so we book a room in London and promote it through our usual kind of Java user group channels to people, and then you kind of need to talk a bit to the expert group and see what kind of things you can try out and what's available and what's appropriate, and then you kind of need to just kind of get people in the room, get them hacking away on code, trying stuff out. You need to have a few kind of other people to help around, a little bit about the subject area, just because there'll be some people who will just kind of get stuck or confused, or they'll just need a hand with something. A lot of people just kind of might need a bit of help just getting set up at the beginning, and they'll be perfectly fine once you pointed them in the right direction. And so that's that's proven, I think, to be quite an effective part of Adopt a JSR in getting the feedback back to expert groups.
So you're working with the Java user group in the London area for volunteering and so forth? Okay. So you've been also involved with OpenJDK?
Yeah.
Right? You've done a couple of events. Can you tell us about it?
So on the Adopt OpenJDK front, we've been focusing, I would say, mainly on trying to get people up to speed with OpenJDK and get more people involved with OpenJDK. Because at the moment there's this situation where obviously a lot of the kind of companies who contribute to OpenJDK on a long-term basis, like Oracle and Red Hat and IBM, have a lot of investment. And it would be really good if there were more kind of community people being involved, but there's quite a kind of big step up between being just a kind of normal day-to-day Java developer and being able to work on OpenJDK itself. And the first barrier to entry that people have is just being able to compile OpenJDK to begin with, which is, historically not as easy as we'd like to be. Thankfully, the build system has been much improved recently, and that makes it a lot easier for people. But we still have a lot of questions where just someone has a kind of small technical point, and Adopt OpenJDK has really helped them kind of get on board and work with that. Moving beyond those kind of simple introductory things, we've been helping out fixing a few of the kind of warnings and low-level technical debts lying around OpenJDK internally. And I think most recently this last weekend, which I wasn't actually involved in, but the London Java community helped organise, we ran a test fest where people were trying to write more tests around OpenJDK itself, and get those tests into OpenJDK, improve the performance of those tests, and just generally make it easier for people to test the builds that they're producing or test changes that they might make with OpenJDK. So
what kind of people go to those events?
A lot, generally people are London Java community members, and we get quite a broad range of different people, which actually is really good, especially on some of the feedback side of things, where you don't just want the brightest and the best to turn up to these things. You want, all sorts of developers. You might get some students coming along, you might get some people who are kind of junior but have been working for a few years, you might get some people who are quite experienced or quite knowledgeable in an area and kind of want to see what's going on, what other people think of something, or you might get people who are, perhaps just they've kind of lost the passion in their day job and they want to see what the new thing is that they're kind of interested in and get some excitement back and see what, something they've been doing the same kind of thing for 3 or 4 years, and they know there's a problem and they want to see what the solution to that problem that's going to be available in the next Java version is. So we get quite a good broad range of people coming in to the events.
Thank you for talking to us today.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.